All right, what's up, trolls and girls? And we're not going to waste any time with this one. Let me just go ahead and set this up, and then we'll get into the pictures. So, this isn't like Chicken Man or Phil Smokes Crack and Timbo Slice. I didn't hear something and then go searching or have previous knowledge about the topic. I just stumbled onto this and got lucky. And you'll see what I mean as we go along. So, let's go back to around the time Goken unmodded himself in DSP's chat. And if you were around in Dark Dave Mears during that time, you'll remember that he was constantly showing up in the chat almost every day. But he was bouncing back and forth between Dark Dave Mears and DSP streams. And while some people didn't mind it, there were plenty of people that kept telling him to pick a side. You know, don't shit on DSP and his fans while you're over here. And then go back into his chat and pretend like you never said anything and blah, 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 right? It's just some two-faced shit. So eventually I got tired of him and people constantly just telling him to pick a side, and I ended up banning him in Dark Dave Mears. Now, Goken being so impulsive and impatient is what led to me realizing Duckman was his sock account. Because as soon as I banned him, he came back in like a minute later under his sock account and was crying and bitching about why did you ban me? I'm over here with y'all, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't think much of it at the time. I just remembered that his name was Duckman and he had some stupid looking cartoon duck as his profile picture. So no big deal, right? Now, let's fast forward a few months. Goken had nowhere else to go. So he ends up back in DSP's chat and he's modding for him again. Now, that's a shitty thing because we all saw him in Dark Dave Mears and it was pretty clear that he was trying to pass himself off as a detractor, but he wouldn't cross over fully. So he's back with DSP, whatever, who cares? And then one night, a few months back, I'm watching an older video of mine and I'm looking for something in particular because I'm working on another video, and while I'm watching it, I just happened to have the live chat feature open because it was a premiered video, and you know, we were all in the chat that night watching it live together. And lo and behold, who do I fucking see pop up in the chat? A gentleman by the name of a duck a man. Now, this video was made on September 25th of last year, and that's during the time Goken was bouncing back and forth between Dark Dave Mears and DSP's chat. But he hadn't gone back to mod for DSP yet, and I hadn't banned him yet either. So now we're going to take a look at a bunch of pictures, and you're going to see what Goken, a current DSP mod, by the way, really thinks of Darkside Phil when he's nice and protected under his sock account, and he doesn't think anyone knows who he is. All right, so we go to the first message as Duckman, and I'm not going to read every single message, so if you want to see any extra ones, you can go to the video. Each message is timestamped, so you'll be able to find it easier. But he says 800 subs. Oh, this might be old footage. And the time that I made this video and released it, this was when DSP came back to YouTube. He had like 200 subs at the time. I guess Duckman here is just cracking a little joke. 800 subs. Oh, this might be old footage. So whatever. Next picture. He says, laugh out loud, fun day. And the reason he says it's so fucking pathetic, man. So we take a look at Phil's tweet up top. And Phil tweeted out that he couldn't sleep because I'm so damn stressed out. False DMCAs being done in my name. Another big chargeback. And then losing my PS5 launch console has really messed with my head. I really just need a normal, fun day of new release games today because I feel like shit right now. You do it to yourself, DSP. You bring this shit on yourself by saying dumb shit like this publicly. And then again, Goken says, laugh out loud, fun day. Next picture. He says, DSP needs a fun day with a smiley face. So, you know, he's sneak dissing him. Whatever, not a big deal. Next picture. Duckman says, I don't have money in the PayPal account. And he's saying that because DSP is bitching about chargeback, saying he doesn't have any money in his PayPal account. He's going to say he's negative, and let's go to the next picture. Oh, no. And here we go. So, Duckman says he needs that fix. And, Goken, you're correct, buddy. He does need that fix. And since you're back in DSP's chat as a mod, maybe you can talk to him personally and figure out what that fix is. He says he doesn't play mobile games anymore, or he doesn't play them on that level. Maybe you could ask him and figure out what that fix is, but apparently you know what we all know and that he needs that fix. And then down there he says negative 1,000 in the red. Again, DSP talking about chargebacks, probably true, but who fucking knows at this point. saying he was negative $1,000 in his PayPal account. True or not, you be the fucking judge. Next picture. And then, oh, here we go. Duckman. This DSP guy is a scammer. Again, you're in his fucking chat. Bring this up to him personally, man. If you think he's a scammer and he needs that fix, why don't you ask him and tell him this shit in his fucking chat personally? Next picture. And then, oh my God. So here's another tweet. To clarify, I absolutely had to update my payment method for the PS5. Back in September, it was before over $3,000 in chargebacks, and I could actually pay it with my PayPal account. The order would have bounced if I didn't change it to my bank, but now it looks like I'm fucked. So again, you bring it on yourself. You be the judge whether you believe this or not. Next picture. Duckman then says 3,000 in chargebacks, so doesn't believe him. He then says DSP hasn't talked about chargebacks at all since coming to YouTube. And, you know, that's a good point. DSP, of course, the last couple of days we heard chargebacks again, didn't we? Which, you know, we'll see what happens with that. But again, Goken doesn't believe you. Don't know why you won't bring it up to him yourself, buddy. Next picture. I bet he was lying about the I bet he was lying about the chargebacks. Again, you're saying this under your fucking sock account. You're saying this shit under your Goken account in Dark Dave Mirrors, but you go back to his chat and you suck up to him just so you can get that spot back. It's pathetic, man. Then he says laugh out loud bounced because supposedly DSP's payment bounced when he was trying to get the PS5 and that's why he didn't get it. Blah, blah, blah. Next picture. A month's worth of revenue. And then he says a month's worth of revenue because DSP was saying the only way he could get rid of those chargebacks is if he turned off his tips. But he'd have to get a month's worth of revenue ahead of time. Essentially, he's telling people to just double their payments to him, basically. So, you know, bullshit. And then Duckman says, oh, yeah, that coffee guy was tossing this man thousands, right? And, you know, it relates to today. This stupid fuck is still tossing them thousands. $25,000 is what OIC has dumped into DSP at this point. And you know that money's gone straight to Scopely. But as dumb as Goken is, he's not as stupid as this fucking guy. $25,000. Next picture. Duckman says, this really sucks. You know, just quoting the video. And he didn't think the $2,000 wasn't suspect. And that's a great point. You know, it goes back to one of the older videos I uploaded where it's like, how are you accepting that amount of money from the same people over and over? And it just opens you up to chargebacks. It opens you up for all this shit to happen. And he's in a fucked up spot now because the same 9 or 10 people are financing this guy's entire life. And if just one of them decides to turn, or if somebody comes in imitating and then they do chargebacks after the fact, he's fucked, man. But all right, next picture. And here Goken says, break the law. And I know you can just picture DSP saying, they break the law, talking about people doing chargebacks and shit. And just made me laugh. Kind of funny. Next picture. Duckman says, Duckman says, getting a job would solve so many issues for DSP. And then down at the bottom, but let's be real, who would hire DSP? And again, Duckman, you're right on fucking point. You're calling this shit beautifully, but for some reason, you won't bring it up to the person that it matters the most to. And then the next picture is just a continuation. Who would hire DSP? And then at the bottom, and the begging. Who would hire DSP and the begging? Good one. And shout out to my boy Manuel there. I saw this when I was putting it all together. Rudy Rudell is better than PP Burnell. Rudy Rudell is better than PP Burnell. And shouts out to Rudy Rudell. You fucking dodged a bullet, homie. And if you don't know who Rudy Rudell is, you know, post a comment down below and I'll explain it, or maybe somebody else will. But shout out to Rudy Rudell. You dodged a fucking bullet, homie. Next picture. Duckman says his right eye looks off. And if you take a look at the picture, I mean, you can see what he's looking at. Whatever. It doesn't fucking matter. His right eye looks off. Again, bring this up to him in his own fucking chat. Then he says, am I imagining this? Look at his right eye. Same shit. Blah, blah, blah. Next picture. He then says it's all about the views. DSP is all about views, views, views. I don't want to be Mr. Views, etc. Again, Tell it to his fucking face, idiot. Tell it to his eye. Then he says, a bad place. And he says a bad place because DSP, again, was crying about chargebacks and blah, 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 and talking about depression, etc. And, Duckman just doesn't believe it. He says a bad place. He's clowning him. And then he says his wife saw. So, again, you can probably picture DSP saying that his wife saw him being depressed and it made her depressed and blah, blah. She doesn't give two fucks, man. The way Goken doesn't give two fucks either. Next picture. Duckman then says he is worried about the future. So again, Goken's just repeating what he's hearing in the video. And shout out to James D there. He says, "Oh, depressed about money, dude. He needs those gold Hogans, dude." And then Killer Grooves down there. Alcohol is a depressant. And that's actually a good fucking point. Maybe that's why you're depressed all the time, Phil. Maybe it's Total Wine's fault. Fucking sue them too. Who knows? Next picture. Duckman then says nothing happened and the chargeback stopped. So he's still on this chargeback shit. Clearly he doesn't believe him. Whatever. Next picture. Duckman says his fans were counting on it. And, just more dumb shit. Phil saying that his fans were counting on the PS5 arriving in time. And now they're going to be all depressed and sad just like him because it didn't show up. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, shout out to me there. Total Wine can fix this. So maybe it's not a depressant. Get more Total Wine DSP. Thumbs up, buddy. Next picture. Duckman says depressed. Again, he doesn't. Oh, shout out to Bilotti there. Total Wine delivers. Silent Weapons. Phil's pre-streams are a Total Wine. Caesar, Total Wine for the win. But Duckman says depressed. And then he says he loves that word. And you're right. He does love that word. And again, y'all need to talk about this personally because sounds like y'all have some unresolved issues here, but also shout out to Lunar Guardian. Crown Royal can fix this. Dominic says, Jin and Champions can't even fix this one, guys. Maybe it can, maybe it can't. Who knows? Next picture. Duckman says, nothing he could do. So again, just repeating the bullshit, whatever. Next picture. Oh, shout out to Steve of the Dead there. Big ups to Steve, my homie. Saw one of your recent videos. Congratulations, dude. You're doing a great fucking job. Keep it up, buddy. Next picture. He has to turn off tips again with this shit. The depression. He's not going to let it go. And then he says he would never turn off his freaking tips. I mean, DSP, even your own fucking mods know you're lying, but apparently this is all speculation and slander. And I'm making this up, obviously. I'm fucking clearly making this up. Next picture. Duckman says, why did the chargeback stop? He just won't give it up. Again, fucking ask him this. You're in his chat. You mod for him. Fucking ask him why the chargebacks didn't stop. Idiot. Next picture. Duckman says, man, such a nice picture. And before we get to that next one, just take a look at the picture. I remember snapping this back in the day when I was doing To Catch a Pay Pig. I caught this at the perfect fucking time. Phil fucking Weinstein with one of his little actresses there on the casting couch. And apparently Goken thinks it's a nice picture. Good job. But then this message is to Phil personally. Phil, buddy, if you think I'm making any of this up, or if you think Goken really isn't Duckman, I want you to think back to probably emails, maybe in the Discord. I'd be willing to bet my fucking channel on it that Goken has brought up the fact that he thinks Superhound is OIC to you. Superhound's not OIC. OIC's too fucking stupid to be Superhound. Yeah, fucking OIC didn't even know how to use Discord. Meanwhile, Superhound goes into fucking people's Discords and spams CP. They're not the same person. But Phil, if you don't believe me, and by the way, I have something else I'm keeping in my back pocket in case Goken tries to deny this, but I'm not going to put that out till later. Only if it's needed. But I guarantee you, Phil, Goken has brought up in the past, Superhound is OIC. At least that's what he thinks. And here he is under Duckman saying the same fucking shit. This is how you know it's true, buddy. Next picture. Duckman says the chargeback's probably fake. We heard you the first 20 fucking times. Notice how chargebacks haven't been happening anymore. And again, ties back perfectly to today. Maybe you can ask him about the chargebacks from the other day, you dumbass. Next picture. Duckman says the chargeback's faker than pro wrestling. Blah, blah, blah. Next one. Oh, shit. Here we... Uh-oh. And y'all are really going to have to talk about this one. So Duckman says calling out Cat. And this might have been when I was talking or something. I might have said something about Cat. But then Duckman, a.k.a. Kinggoken, aka a current DSP mod, says Cat comes off as lazy as hell. And again, you're just saying what everybody else thinks too, but you need to talk about this with DSP, because if his wife is lazy as hell, then maybe that's something that y'all need to fucking discuss. It ain't my business, and apparently you know more than I do. Let's go to the next picture. Duckman says, and again, man, look at this shit. DSP is a liar. And it just goes back to, he needs that fix. DSP is a scammer. DSP is a liar. His wife is lazy as hell. Chargebacks are fake. Why is he? I mean, look at this shit, man. And again, Goken, I want to see you fucking deny this, buddy. I want to see you deny this. Saying all this fucking shit, and then you go back and mod for the guy, man. Shout out to Lizard Lives Matter. The lawyer's hourly charge is $16.51. That's fucking beautiful. Next picture. Duckman says crimes committed. So, not sure if DSP was talking about chargebacks or Tevin. Maybe he's talking about me, for fuck's sakes. But Tevin, me, chargebacks, who fucking knows, man. But crimes committed. Yes, they were. Next picture. And then these are going to be the last couple of pictures. And then we got something else after this. But Duckman says, and I want you to pay attention to this one. Duckman says, Jay Bowler with an exclamation point. And, I'm sure some of you remember when I covered Jay Bowler in To Catch a Pay Pig. And, it kind of upset me, man, because, and let's go ahead and read the cheer here. It's 100 bitch here from Jay Bowler. And he says, Phil, I hope things get better for you. And I just have to say it hurts seeing this happen to you, as I've always considered you as a friend on the net that hangs out, and I have someone to listen to in person since you're on cam every day. Please monitor those tips and don't let these, and I'm sure it was like assholes win or something like that, whatever. But so if Duckman was just some random, why would he say Jay Bowler with an exclamation point, almost like he knows him? And do you know why he did that? Because he's King fucking Goken, and he was in the chat when Jay Bowler was there. So he says Jay Bowler with an exclamation point. Next picture. He then says, laugh out loud, a friend. So he's making fun of Jay Bowler too. He piles on. He believes he is his friend. Well, what does that say about you, motherfucker? You talk all this shit about him, and then you go back and mod for him. And by the way, I haven't seen Jay Bowler, so, God rest his soul. Whatever happened to Jay Bowler, hopefully you found somebody else, buddy. I mean, don't go back to this piece of shit, DSP. All right, so that's the end of the Duckman portion of the video. We're going to look at a few more pictures here, and we're going to end the video with a clip, and I promise you this clip is going to be perfection. And you know me, I like to end my videos with perfection. So this was from one of the State of the Streams I did, which I think I titled it Drama, Drama, Drama. And this is when Goken went in there at OIC, and he says, I tackle my problems head on. No behind the scenes cloak and dagger bullshit. Be a man, and you ain't got to worry about that. OIC ain't a fucking man. He's a repressed, well, whatever. He can deny it all he wants. We know it's true. He's fucking repressed. But you tackle your problems head on. No cloak and dagger bull. You mean like fucking Duckman? Running around under sock accounts so DSP doesn't know it's you? Going into detractors fucking chats? Cloak and dagger shit like that? You fucking idiot. Next picture. All right. And this picture is from Goken's channel. And I went to his channel because I didn't know any other way to contact him. I can't go into DSP's chat, obviously, because I'm fucking banned. And I don't know Goken's Discord. So I went to his most recent video. And by the way, Goken has like 40 or 50,000 subscribers. I mean, he used to have clout back in the day. But I went to his most recent video, which was from years ago, and said, how come you don't use your Duckman account anymore? And I left that because I know he gets these messages. I know he has his notifications on and he gets these messages. And the reason I know is because, excuse me, when one of DSP's mods came to me and leaked his Discord to me, that person, for some reason, wanted me to ask Goken if he wanted to return to DSP as a mod, basically. And since the guy was leaking me the Discord, I said, I'll do it, man. So I went to Goken's channel and I said, hey, do you have a Discord? And Goken replied within minutes and said yes. And then I said, what's your Discord? And he never replied again. He probably thought I was doing gay ops or something or setting him up, which I just wanted to ask him what the other mod wanted me to ask him. So I know he gets these fucking notifications. So I said, how come you don't use your Duckman account anymore? Just trying to get him to admit it, basically. Just tell the fucking truth, man. Quit lying. Somebody said Coffee Boy has him shook, but he didn't respond clearly, as you can see. But I know he saw the message. Next picture. All right, so this picture here, I saw Goken recently in a Review Tech stream, and I guess this was when Phil and Review Tech were going back at it a couple weeks ago, and I saw Goken pop up, and I tagged him and I said, at Kinggoken, sure thing, Duck Man. And Goken replied back, but again, he won't admit it, he's hiding. He replied back at somebody named Kanishi and at me and says, ever watch that show, with a laughing face. So I don't know what fucking show Duckman is. Clearly he knows what Duckman is. He's a fan of that show. He likes it. You know, he used it as his fucking sock account, and maybe that's the profile picture too of Duckman. I don't know, but again, if somebody asks you, if somebody says sure thing Duckman and that's not you, is your reply going to be ever watch that show? So he won't admit it, whatever. And then we finish with this picture, and again, we're going to watch the clip afterwards, and it's fucking perfection. So Goken, he says, for the record, I report anything to Phil. I only went to him once about a certain caffeinated fella, but that's about it. So, all right, so he obviously meant to say, for the record, I don't report anything to Phil. I only went to him once about a certain caffeinated fella, but that's about it. But it just sounded funny the way it came out. For the record, I report anything to Phil. And I'm ending the video with this and the clip for a reason. Because once I saw this, for the record, I report anything to Phil, it immediately made me think of the next clip we're going to listen to, and it's perfection. Whether Phil knows that Duckman is Goken's sock account, whether he's sending him in here to do this shit, whatever, it doesn't even matter. Because listen to this fucking clip, and again, it's just perfection, and isn't it Shawn Michaels?
Okay. Okay. Snow Carl tipped me $1, says, it's me again, have you considered my unban? Well, Snow Carl, I'll be very honest with you. You really pissed me off earlier this year with your way you behaved on the streams repeatedly over and over. And even though you apologized, I honestly didn't believe that your apologies were wholehearted. I'm just being honest, you know. There's some people who I feel over time, they can learn from their mistakes, and they can learn to be a better person, and they can come back and be a stream participant again. But you always, you know, you always had to twist that knife, and you got unbanned 1,000,000 times, and every time you never learned your lesson. You know what I mean? Every effing time you never learned your lesson. It was like you couldn't resist doing that behavior that you knew was insulting and not allowed on the stream. You just couldn't help yourself. And I'm at the point with people like you, all right, because it's you and there are several others in the same situation as you, that I feel like I'm enabling you by letting you back into the streams to do that kind of behavior. That toxic, hurtful, negative behavior that you being in the stream now, oh my God, I can't control myself. I got to do it again, you see? And it may not be today, and it may not be tomorrow, and it may not be in a week, but I almost feel like it's inevitable, right? That you're going to be doing stuff that's going to be negative. In addition to that, I already know that you're in other detractor chats constantly because people tell me about it all the time. I don't actively seek that information. I don't actively seek that information whatsoever, but people snitch. I'll just get anonymous email. Here's evidence that Snow Carl is still talking shit about you in a detractor chat. There it is. I'm not looking for it, but that's what I keep telling people. You gotta understand everything you do on the internet is public. Everything. You may think you're safe hiding in your little hidey holes of other chats and a Twitter feed over here. You may not think that I'm gonna look at. People find that stuff and end up just sending it to me. I don't even ask for it. I don't care. But then they send it to me. You know? So, I'm sorry, Snow Carl, but the only way I could ever believe that you actually are going to reform yourself is if you completely shut yourself off from any kind of activity that's like basically making fun of me, tearing myself and my family members a new one, constant annoying insults and criticism. You'd have to completely stay away from that for an extended period of time. I'd have to not hear from anyone that you're in detractor chats and shit for an extended period of time. And then you'd have to come to me and say, I really reformed. I've made my case now. Please let me back. And then I would consider it. But you have done none of those. So you're not coming back. Dark Viking 159 tipped me $150. Thank you, Dark Viking. Let me get him right up on the leaderboard, and then I'll read you his message here. That is really, really appreciated right now.
All right, hang on, guys. Let me get Dark Viking up here on my leaderboard. Wait a minute. And get the fuck up out of my chat, Dark Viking, you piece of shit. But yeah, Phil, you just get anonymous fucking emails from people saying that, oh, Snow Carl was in this chat and other little fucking trolls are in this. I wonder where you get those emails from, buddy. Because here's my personal email to you. How about your fucking mod Kinggoken, aka Duckman, trashes you behind the scenes? And by the way, this is one video that I stumbled on. I can only imagine if I went searching through every other detractor's channel where I could find Duckman at. And by the way, I searched him up in the DSP chat tracker. He's been in DSP's chat under Duckman as well. The pictures just weren't fucking, the messages weren't worth including, but you can find him as Duckman as well. But just tying everything together, the way it always fits, it's perfection, man. These guys think they're fucking being secretive and they think they're getting away with shit. And they're just fucking stupid. They're stupid. People are always going to stumble onto this shit. Always. And like I said before, I want to see you deny this, Goken. I want to fucking see you deny it. Because I got something else in my back pocket too, motherfucker. And we can play this game if you want. But there's my anonymous email to Phil. Yeah, telling him about, and maybe Phil won't give a shit. Maybe he'll say he don't care. He don't care that Goken trashes him and trashes his wife and calls her lazy and that DSP's a liar and scammer. Blah, blah, blah. Who gives a fuck, right? All right, and that's the video for today. The next video is going to be, and I'm going to do it because it's been long enough. The next video will be To Catch a Pay Pig Part 23. So, if you're a fan of the To Catch a Pay Pig series, if you still watch the older ones, there will be a new one coming out because it's been long enough since I put out Part 22. I've already got the 3 people picked out for it. It's just going to take some leg work and I got to put it all together. So it'll take me a minute, but To Catch a Pay Pig Part 23 will be next. And I've already made up my mind. Let me go ahead and give a couple of quick shout outs. Shout out to Saad, who tipped me after the last video and said, get well soon. And I am all COVID free, buddy. And we are good to go. So thank you, Saad. I appreciate it. To my homie Vicious the Otaku, who has had my back since probably the first To Catch a Pay Pig. I bet if I went to the comments, I could find him there. Shout out to Vicious. He always supports. He's always in the comments. And, he's just one of those people that's always had my back. Captain Wiseman, who, that's my homie right there. Even though he said he's a white guy, he's still my homie. He's pretty fly for a white guy. Shout out to Captain Wiseman. Thank you, buddy. And last shout out to Sasha. Again, just somebody that, I've been friends with for a long time before I started making videos, back to the old DDM crew. And, Sasha made all the thumbnails for me from, I believe it was To Catch a Pay Pig 6 all the way up until 22. And, I'm going to have 23 out. If he wants to make something new, he can. If anybody else wants to make a thumbnail for Part 23, my Discord and my Twitter are in the description of the video. You can reach out to me. If Sasha wants to do it, he gets first dibs. But if anybody else wants to contribute, I'll even use it during, if I don't use it as a thumbnail, I'll use it during the video. If you got an idea for TCAP 23, send it my way. Outside of that, just thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for riding with me. I'll see y'all for TCAP 23, a less a fucking go.